You got all Rip Van Winkle on us. But anyway, we are here. Thank you all for delaying a week. And thank you, Ernest, for coming up with a new, slightly shorter draft. It was longer than I expected, and I didn't quite make it all the way through. But maybe we can do the first 20 minutes where you walk us through. I think just doing your first alpha section, you want to just, um, you can either talk about it or you can put it up on the screen and kind of walk us through it. What do you think would work best for you?
Let me put it on the screen. On the screen.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I'll do both, right? Mm, okay.
I can live chat on the YouTube stream. Didn't realize that.
Live chat on the YouTube screen. Okay.
Which is sort of silly because I'm here live anyway, but alternative to paste chatting in the Zoom chat.
Mm, okay, no, okay, I guess I can do this one. So do you read the uh what is it? Our terrible state of affairs?
Yeah, I was thinking we just start. I mean, maybe just. I don't think we're I think I was thinking of going through that one just because it's slightly shorter, and then we have something for the
Hmm.
next. But
Yeah, yeah. Well, uh, okay.
I put that in the Zoom chat as well.
Okay. Okay. Huh.
If you'd rather do this one, we could just do there and go through the first half, whatever works better for you.
Okay. Okay, both work.
Do you have the link to the Rage Against Patriarchy, the terrible state of affairs?
Y- Yeah, I need to find the window.
Ah, okay. I need to stop sharing and
Okay.
reshare.
Yeah, okay, let's do this one. This is the rage against patriarchy. But let's go through just the section. So this one has the this first section, life in the American Dark Ages. But let's skip to that. Let's skip to that. And let's go to oh, let me use this navigation aid. Okay. Uh, women build humanity.
Okay, you want to start with just a short preamble about kind of what you're
The
hoping to
whole thing.
accomplish?
Okay. I want to kind of represent in the most uh, 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 ragey form possible the energy that I think that I imagine women should feel about the situation. The situation is that what got me started is our election results and the fact that um, a person who is has shown to be so to be so vile against women, he has so many sexual assault accusations. He says himself that he sees himself as being, able to grab women uh, by their privates because he's famous and they let him do it. All these attitudes, his position about nasty women, he's uh, his stipulation that he will be a protector of women when he said, years ago that the woman who, if she has an abortion, that she should be punished in some way because for that. Uh, uh, all those things, uh, um, to me, is so unexpected that a great number of women support him. Um, so I want to like show, well, look at what he's done, and how can a woman decide to vote for him? So this document um, has a series of, let's say, chapters, uh, and the first two that I want to publish are "Women Build Humanity," and I'm talking about giving birth and having all the or a great majority of the equipment needed to produce a human is on the woman's side, on the woman's body. Uh, a male produces sperm, and that's the genetic information of the male. But the woman has the egg that has, or the ovum, that has all the hardware that is needed to actually start uh, um, uh, the fertilization process and keep it and have it fed. That's what the egg is for. That's it has all the nutrients and all kinds of things that with in which you can host uh, a growing cycle. Uh, the male uh, the male sperm doesn't have that. Actually, the male sperm is the smallest cell, the smallest possible human cell, while the ovum, the woman's egg, is the largest human cell. So just from the biology side, women have, they are the ones who are building society, in my opinion. So that's why I talk about here in the uh, Women Build Humanity section. I start with, well, I talk about the election, like uh, how is it that the chosen, uh, our president-elect is a man who is um, a criminal rapist, obviously corrupt and proud of it, owned by billionaires, and mentally and morally inferior to the majority of the adult population. And that is, I see that as a fact just by looking at the things that he has done, what he has said, what he has chosen to do, specifically not uh, uh, debate a bunch of people, including women.
By the way, I just turned 84 and I object to remarks about oldism on principle. Haha,
Uh,
Merry Christmas.
oh, okay. Oh, the only reason that I mentioned the age is that he does it, right? When he was when he was viewed as the youngest by a few months, he was on Biden's age, like nothing, like nothing, like 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 nothing, you know.
Interest of time, I think what I'm hearing you say, Ernest, is that you were enraged by the Trump presidency, but you saw this as not just about him, but as a sign of something deeper wrong in American society that you wanted to speak to.
Yeah, specifically patriarchy and all the systems and practices and culture around that. And I also put in a religion because it's I see that as an extension of patriarchy, especially the kind of religions that we have. Uh, but that's another focus that I leave for another section. But in these two sections, or in this specific one, the first one, women build humanity is just uh, uh, having the hardware to do the thing, uh, to actually build physically a human being and bring the person, give birth to the person. Um, women actually birth is like the principal event that a human being goes through. That's how a human being is created, or that's how human being is brought into the world. Um, Women experience this from two perspectives. They are born just like male uh, men are. They are born out of a woman, uh, but women also give birth, so they have uh, even though very few people might remember the event, still women experience that from the perspective. The you know they give birth, and then they also are born from a similar process. So that's the what this section is supposed to encompass. And the way I present this content also, because I don't have, I'm not a woman. I don't speak like a woman. I don't have that voice, but I'm using music uh, as a way to kind of represent that rage, or that viewpoint. So I refer in some sections some songs. Like there's a song called Toxic that I don't know if maybe you can. Uh, when I link it, I used to copy the entire lyrics of each song, but because of copyright especially, but and also because of length, I decided to just have a few um, stanzas, is it, of the song in the article, that you know so that people can read a little bit of the song, the lyrics, but you can also preview them in uh, Spotify. Uh, if you click here, you can get a preview song. Um, so let's stop that. So people can, if you have good headphones or a good system, you can get a, a, a glimpse of that through song. Uh, so, in this subsection, women have the equipment and feel the pain. Of course, I'm talking about being able to give birth, and also having the experiencing the pain of birth. Mm, and there's a song that I referred to called "Labor" by Paris Paloma, uh, which is I one of the uh, sections of the song that I really liked is this one. If because she's talking about how uh, her her partner is with her, how life is with him. So in one part of the song says, "If we had a daughter, I would match, I would watch and could not save her. The emotional torture from the head of your high table, uh, sh- she would do what you taught her. She will meet the same cruel fate. So now I gotta run so I can undo this mistake. At least I've gotta try." So that's it's saying, if you had a daughter and you raise it uh, as your daughter, she will have my same fate, which is to suffer your violence, um, your ignorance, uh, you're putting all on me, on the woman, like in that she talks like you make me do too much labor, and that's a double entendre, I guess, because it's labor uh, is like the work that she does to keep a house, I guess, but also the actual labor. Um, there's another song, Banshee, that I mentioned, and I uh, uh, go um, into actual events, like the section called legitimate rape. I talk about how a politician some years ago used this actual phrase, uh, saying, if it's legitimate rape, the female body has ways to try to shut the whole thing down. So this uh, politician, he's, he uttered this statement, and he believed that it was true, that he felt, well, if the woman was actually raped, and I guess he was comparing that to, you know, not being raped, like having just regular sex, but then if she was raped, that she could just uh, eject that you know sperm or whatever, and there will be no pregnancy. And that's obviously not true. That is not biologically accurate by any measure. But the fact that he used that publicly to uh, to show his position on abortion, uh, it just shows the what I consider to be ignorance on the part of um, the advocates of you know anti-abortion movement, and the people who align themselves with that. Uh, they choose their position, or just to show that they want to control women, in my opinion. They want to show, see, you're a woman, you got pregnant, and we want to force you to have that, regardless of what you think, even though it's your body, you don't care, you're a woman, and you got pregnant. Doesn't matter if it was by rape, by an uncle, a stranger, your father, doesn't matter. If you become pregnant, you have to have that pregnancy. That's the position that a lot of the conservatives are taking, and they're using that politically, and to and comparing that with the position that the Constitution of the United States says, that people have liberty and freedom to live their lives, and to have property and enjoy that property. That's what the Constitution says. But um, through case law and, and things that are not in the Constitution of the United States, they might be in the Constitution of each state, like in the state of Texas and Georgia and Florida, but not in the U.S. Constitution. Um, my position is that, and the position of many people, is that anything that violates uh, the U.S. Constitution, in this case, the liberty and freedom that a person has to enjoy her own body, his own body, without uh, anybody else saying anything about it. In the case of women, is violated, and it is unconstitutional. But through political and legislative, uh, maneuvers, some states have made it so that having an abortion, with the assistance of a physician, is illegal. and they make it, and their position is so extreme that it doesn't matter if it's a teenager uh, that was raped, or some or a woman who's she's a mother, she wants to have another kid, she's with a married, and she wants to have another kid with her husband, but pregnancies can, go wrong. It's a biological process, and sometimes uh, uh, there's ectopic pregnancies. There are all kinds of things that can go wrong, and for which women seek the assistance of seek medical help to get them to get rid of that, because it could be um bad they could die out of that. Uh,
Ernest, just as a
yes.
time check,
Hmm.
maybe if you can take another 10 minutes and maybe pace yourself, figure out what topics you want to cover.
Hmm.
We have some time
Okay.
for discussion.
Yeah. So I deal with the legitimate rape situation in this. I talk about women being smart and courageous. It's my position that women show uh, more leadership potential than many men. Um, in this case, through that's how women got their vote. In the 1920s, they have the position, their uh, demonstrations, and through nonviolence demonstration, they created this movement, the suffrage movement, and they got the vote. Um, so I also talk about women being natural leaders. They usually have more empathy. They address situations more diplomatically than men would do. Men, for the most part, are more um, reactive. They, uh, are more on showing violence side than being diplomatic and trying to negotiate a position and even to get more information. Uh, so that's why, um, the I mentioned in the section that the Native Americans, they had the Iroquois Confederacy. It's a confederacy of Native American nations that is similar to the U.S. Congress, but it was run by women. And actually, the founders of the Constitution took that model, and that's how they created the Congress and in the whole yeah, Congress, the two chamber, with having House and Senate. This is They took that from the Native American Confederacy, Confederacy that is still active today. So that's the when it comes to the Native Americans, that's the longest running participatory democracy in the world, and it's run by women. So that's the side of the hey, women build humanity. So, the other side is uh, men keep women down. By that, I'm talking about what's it, patriarchy and religion, and that's where I have this. I started that section with an image of a passage of the Quran and a passage of the Bible, where women are not treated really well. Like in the Quran side, it says men are in charge of women by right of what Allah has given one or the other, and uh, uh, so righteous women are devoutly obedient, um, regarding in the husband's absence what Allah will have them uh, like like women are supposed to be wives and mothers and all that. In the Bible, on the side, it says that women should learn in quietness and full submission. I do not permit a woman to teach or assume authority over a man. And this is Timothy 2:11-15. So, and these are just two. There are other religions that use other books that women are not, women are treated really uh, badly. Uh, they are treated as just servants uh, and get the givers of pleasure when it comes to sex, but not not as leaders, not as equal to men in any way. And I see that as isn't that interesting that the scriptures that we have as the basis of religions, Bible, the Torah, all those books are so biased towards men. Why is that? If reading is supposed to be about this, you know, God, this entity, why this entity? Uh, some religions might say, well, we talk about it as a male because that's just language or whatever. But others, no, it's that they talk about that male being the main person, and in the Bible, the Genesis, the book of Genesis.
Okay, 5 minute warning, Ernest.
Yeah. Okay. It talks about the man being what God created, and because he saw the man was alone, then he created woman. When it comes to biology and history and evidence, we know that that's not true. Biologically, that is not correct. Like a woman cannot, it doesn't come from a man's, maybe it doesn't, it is, that is a fable, a myth that people have come up with to represent the dominion of men over women. But all these books, or these holy books and tales, are so uh, uh, benefit men so much over women that it's just a wild coincidence that men are the ones who come on top and women are the ones who come on bottom. So I use the language that people, especially the main audience that I have, that is women from 17 to 27. That's the audience that I want to reach with this message. So I know that we talk about being civil and being you know nicely spoken, but we have seen in the past that that's not the position that wins. Uh, you know, Michelle Obama used to say, "When they go low, we go high," but that's not the position that wins these days. When they go low, we have to go down there and get in the trenches. And so we can't just talk about, the nice things. We have to, talk the way people talk, and that's with strong language. And I use that in this article. And, I also have songs that I refer to. Uh, so I talk about oppressing through religion, which talks about what I just mentioned. Um, I talk about the women of uh, the times of the United Kingdom, specifically Catherine of Aragon, the first wife of Richard VIII, who, even though he was a devoted wife, smart, knowledgeable, because she didn't give an heir to the king. He,
King Henry VIII, not Richard.
oh, sorry. Thank you
Didn't
for
you
that.
watch Six?
Second,
The musical Six about the six wives of Henry VIII, anyway, as
yeah,
Spice
sorry.
Girls. Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, sorry for that.
Sorry,
Yeah.
random fact. Anyway, let you finish.
Yeah,
I
so
just wanted to show I was awake.
yeah, good. So yeah, I use all those things when it comes to history. Like, look at how, the men dominate women. That and when it comes to religion, he Richard VIII, he embodies what I say. He had to invent a religion in his country, the or like split the religion from um the church uh into make it into the English church, so that they let him divorce his wife so that he could marry a wife who could probably give him an heir, a male heir. So that's how the basis of the link of patriarchy and religion that is illustrated by that. That we're going to use religion to enforce our views. Um, and we also predispose girls to be subservient to men from the time they're born. We talk about they play with dolls, and we teach them to be pretty and all that to please men, right? We don't teach boys, to be handsome. We teach them to be strong and virile and don't show emotion, and that's how you are, man. Uh, but that is also not true. I talk about toxic masculinity that um but that essentially it wants to demean all the attributes that all the female attributes, the attributes that women have. It wants to demean them and exalt the attributes that make men.
We're at time, Ernest. Do you want to wrap up so we can have some
Yeah,
discussion and questions?
yeah. So okay. I also mentioned women in history that have been, even though they have uh, given us so much in technology and innovation, like Hay Lamar, that she's more famous for her beauty than what she actually invented, which is the basis of our co communication structure, infrastructure that we have now, wireless cell phones and all that. Uh, Controlling women's bodies. So these first two sections talk about the contribution that women have in building humanity, and on the other side, the fact that men keep women down, um, regardless of their contribution. And actually, they want to de-emphasize all that is female about them and make it undesirable so that men can be on top of them. So that's the gist of those first two sections that I want to publish under one article, and I want to have the text and the music that I cite be the language of rage against this position.
All right. So, ton of work. Congratulations on getting it this far. I know it's hard to get this stuff over the line, but I appreciate all the time and energy you've been putting into this and trying to format it and enormous amount of research. Unless you had all these songs memorized already, that's a lot of work to pull all that together.
Not memorized, just but I listened to them a bunch of times.
Yeah. Tom, did you want to ask some questions or make some observations?
Yeah, I just have one big thought running around in my mind that their history is clear. There is no short-term solution. Another several hundred to 1,000 or more years fighting might even things up a bit. That's all I can see. But with constant fighting as for justice and equality. So I mean, nothing's going to happen because one idiot politician gets elected or another in the United States. It's not what it's about. It's a very long-term history of repression of women, thousands of years, and we can see the pace of change, and we can almost, draw an arrow to where it's approximately equal, and that's just not in our lifetime. But
Yeah. Oh,
have
go
to
ahead.
keep on
Go ahead.
fighting.
Yes, and that's what I wanna uh make people see that yeah, patriarchy and all these things are systems that are embedded, in society, and they are really really hard to disembed. But if women just and I'm talking just about women, uh, if they analyze their position, what they give to society, and the way that society treats them, if we can capture just a few women and, and make them think of their well-being in relation to how society treats them and their churches, their groups, their communities, if maybe they think about that and then they become mad about that, they get together with other women that think like that, or even men that are in that side, like myself. Um, that little by little, this position might get, uh, uh, um, you know, it, it might it might get ground, like start from the ground up, um, and get people little by little, I say ask questions, to your leaders. Why can't there be women priests? Or why can there be a woman pope? Why is it about this organization that says that women cannot be in those positions? Why? And just, asking questions to these people, making them explain their position. Is it because are women wired not to be leaders? We know that that's not true. There are really capable women leaders throughout the world. So if in particular women start looking at that as like their main concern, I know that in this election we talked about the economy and immigration and all things, but if we say women, you are women, put yourself in you are the main concern. Your womanhood is, your life is in some cases. You can die just because somebody rapes you. You will be condemned to die in some parts of the United States, and that shouldn't be fair. It, you know that should not be the case. And yeah, this will take generations. This is not going to be fixed in the next election or anything like that. But we have to have society think about that and look at the ills of that toxic masculinity and toxic femininity have on society, uh, and try to um, have society view women as human beings and not just as incubators. Uh, yeah, we just have to like start thinking. It's my main idea. If you're in one of these groups, think, well, why is it that the Bible says that about me? That I'm just to listen to the man, and why do not have value, the same value as a human being that a man has? Uh, and maybe years, thousands of years ago, when we used to live in caves and plains, and we had all kinds of situations that as big, strong men have to, take charge. But those times are far gone. At least in civilization, like women can fend for themselves. We are not mired in wars. At least not, you know, uh, uh, in, in a lot. Uh, we don't have communities at war with other communities like we have in some parts of
Yeah.
the world.
At the moment in America, we are not currently facing any existential threats of war,
Uh
except possibly civil war.
yes, yeah, yeah, and I cannot imagine a civil war in this country. What it would be like being the what the government has, to fight with. So, um, it would just be oppression. Like the people with the guns, they can oppress everyone else. That's how we have. That's how we have Russia. One
Yeah.
dictator doing things. So yeah.
Getting a little off topic here. What sort of feedback would be most useful to you, Ernest?
Uh well, it would have been great to have, like a 20-year-old woman participate in this. Um, I don't know those. You know, I'm not young. I'm not a woman, and I don't have the I don't know personality or the following to be able to say, hey, let's do a thing in Twitch or whatever. Let's have a conversation about this. Or not even like, hey, let me invite you to that Datocracy thing that we have. We're going to discuss this. I don't have that following. So what I'm trying to do is, for at least from you guys, is what this discussion is what I want, what I'm looking for, but in a wider on uh, on the wider sense, I would like to hear from women. Hey, what do you think? Do you agree with this? Is this the right way to uh, have this discussion? Because there are women that are not going to
For who?
reach. Right? There are people that are
Who's
not going to reach.
the swimmers? Yes.
There are people that they will like, hey, you're against religion. No, I'm not going to reach them. But a few I could reach if they just
Right.
read this. Yeah.
So here's a thought, Ernest. I'm sure there must be online women's groups where men are welcome to come and discuss political topics.
Yeah,
Right.
I've seen some groups on Facebook.
Right. And the thought I had is that, and I've done this, is that if you want to change women's minds, cultivating the skill of learning to ask the right questions might be a good place to start. And you're right. It'd be nice to get them to read your article and to come to our places and so forth, but that's dangerous on several levels. And so making the first move in the other direction is finding groups that are, so starting with groups that are sympathetic to your viewpoint, that are trying to recruit women to, this way of looking at the world, and asking, I really care about this. How could I help? What do you see as the issues? I'm sure there's a number. I mean, NOW, I think, is the one that's most famous. I don't know what they're like online, but or what if that's just from 20 or 30 years ago, National Organization of Women. But it feels like that would be a place to start. One thing that I was curious about, which is when I read your document, more or less the same one here, I came away with the impression, which I don't know if it's accurate, that you really want women to place a lot of value on their ability to bear children.
That is correct. Yes.
Okay. That feels like that could come across wrong to some women, that you are valued for your ability to bear children.
Well,
And I wanted to give you a chance to clarify your nuance around that.
it is, yes. So my point of view, or the point of view that I want to emphasize, is that it's not that, you can give birth, it's that it is, humanity has to reproduce, otherwise we'll die, right? And the way that we are biologically is that women are the ones who give birth. That's the way things are. So the majority of women who are born have the capacity to do this, and to help humanity reproduce. So, when you're a woman, first you're a woman, right?
Right.
What does that
Tom
mean?
had his hand up. Want to make sure he has a chance to weigh in.
Your hand is up. Okay. So,
Tom, did you want to say something?
oh,
Yeah, it was. I'm patiently waiting, but I did have a comment before we're done.
go ahead. Sorry, please. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Simplify. You've got too much and too many thoughts, which is fun at the level of scanning through a variety of thoughts, but it doesn't help focus attention on what's the core problem and how to change it. I sent you both a copy of my book, Simple, which is about simplification. You don't have to read the book, but I hope that book is simple. But I think it will help both you and us think about things, and other people if it is simplified. You've got too much there in total, and it is not clearly focused on one idea.
Yeah, but I have to push back on that because yes, but what will be
Yeah,
the
so let me think about it this way. I think publishing this article as the rage against patriarchy, this is a rage statement, this isn't a logical analysis, is a good first step. Get the document out there so you have it all there. But then take a step back and say, okay, what are the concrete, because just writing, for me, I just write one draft, which is just everything that I'm thinking about just to get it all out on the page. And that's really important. But if you're actually trying to create change in the world, you have to go from what you produce to what other people can consume in a way that will get them to make that change. And I think maybe a good discussion, this might be actually kind of fun, and if you want to do some homework in preparation for that, fine, is what is the root problem of patriarchy? What is the point of leverage that either conceptually or practically a small group of people can apply pressure to that will help create significant change? I think that's an interesting question. I think you've created a lot of context for why that's an interesting question. And I think maybe spending some time trying to dig into that in a more narrowly focused way, or in a more analytic way is probably a better term, could help you in that journey. I mean, in parallel, if you're able to have some conversations with actual women to get some more color, that would also be great.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and the problem with that is that the word means so many things. It's not,
Right. So, right. But my goodness, it's almost like we need a system to force us to define our terms more precisely so that we can take strategic actions to achieve a desired result.
Yeah. I mean, it could be a rallying cry, like
But actually, that actually is a great suggestion for our next time. It's let's apply language.
mhm.
And actually, this would be good, Tom, because I've been telling you that one of your challenges with language is taking raw, unfiltered emotion and using language to help people feel heard rather than just being analyzed. So if you're both up for it, maybe that would be a great thing to do in 2025 is have Tom practice being emotionally sensitive and Ernest practice uh, uh, encoding things logically and see if we can get something more formal to work with.
Yeah, like in one of the letters, the correspondence, I talked about, could we write a white paper about this? Meaning that, that needs research and evidence and you need to present things orderly. And yeah, if we can
Yeah,
systematize this.
yeah, but even if we could just think clearly and language style define what we mean and our current hypothesis about the problem to be solved in some meaningful way, that would be a fun exercise. And see if we did that, if that would turn your rage into more constructive energy, because you say, oh yes, I see the problem, I see the thing to be done. It's not just be angry. It's like,
Mhm.
no, let's take action. I think that's a theme that we've been touching on this year of how do we turn all this emotional energy into constructive action that doesn't just turn into virtue signaling, but actually achieves the measurable results we care about.
Yeah.
All right, I'm at time. Any final thoughts, Tom, on your side?
No, you're on the right track. That's good.
All right. Are you willing to sign up to interview Ernest and try and create some definitions next time?
Something in that direction. We have to think about exactly what it
We
is.
can noodle on that as we go.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you, gentlemen, very much. And I'll see you on the other side in 2025.
Yeah.
See you on the other side.
Take
Bye.
care.
Thank you. You too.
Bye.